Hey everyone, iTech Talk here today, and today we are back for another video, where today we're going to talk about the 2019 upcoming Apple products. So stay tuned for all the products that might be coming in 2019. Stay tuned. Welcome to the channel, guys. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and comment if you haven't done so yet, and please do go and check out my other videos on the channel. So today we're going to talk about the upcoming Apple products in 2019. Now there are many products to talk about. So first off, we're going to be talking about the AirPods 2. Now the AirPods 2 was being talked a lot about over the last couple of days, week or so, saying that it would be actually released in March of 2019. Originally the date was set to be December, end of December, but apparently that has been changed to March according to analyst Ming-Chi Kuo. So we're likely to see different colours, better Bluetooth, likely to be Bluetooth 5.0, and the new W2 chip, which will bring performance improvements and efficiency and better battery life, and probably water resistance, and of course the new AirPods charging case, which will work for wireless charging. Now the second one fits in very well with AirPods as well, and the second one is AirPower. Now AirPower was shown back in 2017. Yeah, I know guys, it's a year ago that Apple talked about AirPower, and since then we haven't seen anything about this product. All we've seen is that it's been taken off the Apple website. Now, many analysts have been saying that it actually could come either at the end of this year, or we could see it next year in 2019. So that could either be March, June, which is WWDC 2019, or they could release it when they release the 2019 iPhones. So AirPower, we're not too sure about when it's going to be released and if it is going to be released, but there has been a bit of speculation about this product. Now next up we have iPad mini 5th generation. Now the iPad mini 5th generation has been speculated across the internet, and we've had many analysts saying that it could come actually in March of 2019. It could come in March 2019, yes, or it could come in June 2019 at WWDC 2019, which kind of makes sense because if they're going to release iMacs, they could release other products then. But it could also be in March 2019, which could also be when they release the iPad 2019. So more on about the iPad 2019 in a few minutes times. But first off, let's carry on about the iPad mini 5th generation. So let's run a few of the specs we could be seeing. We could be seeing the Apple A10 or A11 chip. We could be seeing improvements in the front camera and also the back camera. I don't know what you call it, but both cameras could be improved. And we could get improvements to the display as well, improvements to the resolution, could get True Tone as well. But remember, the iPad mini 5th generation is set to be the cheaper one, the cheaper model out of the other iPads. So you've got to take into account that it's not likely to have all the amazing powers because it's, very thin. It's quite small to have a lot of power, and it makes sense if it isn't, if it's just cheap, they keep it cheap, but with pretty good power, enough power you need so that you can take it around. If you want lots of power, then you're going to need to look at the iPad Pro. So that's a few of the specs I've run through, and of course keep the same Touch ID, probably the same design, and that leads into the iPad 2019. Now Apple has been staying with the same design for the last around 6 years, I think. The same design with quite thick bezels around. Back in 2010, when it first came out, it had huge, massive bezels, but then over time they got smaller, but they're still pretty thick. So we want to see, I think many people want to see a refresh of the iPad 2019. They want to see a new design. Not only that, but they want to see more power and a better display, because the display is getting old compared to Samsung's iPads. They have OLED displays and whatever else. You know, Apple really needs to start, you know, bumping up the display qualities for their iPads. So we're likely to see display improvements, redesign possible, I'm not saying it will, but it's possible. And we could see it being released in March of 2019 as well. That's when it's likely to be released, as the iPad 2018 was released in March 2018. And that leads into the iMac. Now the iMac got a refresh in 2017. Not a huge refresh, just improvements to the processors. Intel Core i5, 7th generation, going up to, I think, Intel Core i7, I think you can max it out, 7th generation, so they really need to update that as well. Not only that, they need to update the design, because as well, it's the same, the bezels are quite thick on the 21-inch one, and the 27-inch is okay, but I think they could do some improvements to that as well. So what we would see is that we would see better display, even better display, much better processors, so maybe Intel Core could go up to Intel Core i9, who knows, but they might stay with the Intel Core i7 and add more Intel Core i5 8th generation. Since it starts with Intel Core i5 7th generation, they could boost that up as well. We're likely to see more Intel Core i7s though, which is quite good actually, but the same RAM. The only part where we might see a huge difference is to the front-facing camera, which we might finally get HD 1080p camera, and we might also get a refresh to the design. Now, what I mean by that is that we'll have a refresh of the bezels. The bezels will be much thinner, so that you can, you know, have a bigger screen, but still in the same form factor, which would be quite nice to see actually, since the bezels are quite thick, and I think Apple will have enough space to, you know, do that and make the bezels really thin so that you can have a really nice 4K or 5K display to enjoy watching some videos or editing whatever you do on your iMac. Now next up we have the iPhones 2019, and to be honest, this is quite bad news again. Oh sorry, I did say actually the release date of the iMac, sorry. We're likely to see it at WWDC 2019 actually, because that's when they always released the iMacs. So we're likely to see it released at WWDC 2019, so that's in June. And now going back to the iPhones 2019, as I was saying, quite some bad news, as we're likely to see the same screen sizes. I was hoping for a refresh, but we're likely to see the same screen sizes, same displays, so 2 OLEDs and 1 LCD. Now, if they do a second version of the iPhone XR, what I'd like to see is that we could have at least a 1080p display. That's what I hope to see, and even more improvements in the camera. The specs at the moment, we don't know much about the specs about the 2019 iPhones. All we know is that it's going to be pretty much the same as this year's, except the iPhone XS and XS Max, I don't know what they're going to be called in 2019, probably iPhone 11, may feature 3 cameras. Now many people have been asking, will we get 5G on the new 2019 iPhones? It's difficult to say at the moment because many reports say that it will be in 2020, which is okay I guess, but some reports also say that 2019 could be the date when they release the new 5G variants of the new iPhone, so one to look out for actually in 2019. And then the next one is the MacBook Pro refresh. Well, first off, will we see a MacBook Pro refresh? I don't know at the moment. They're already pretty powerful, they already look really nice, but they've been looking the same over the last few years, so I really hope that they do something a lot more different this next year. Maybe even thinner bezels, better front-facing camera maybe, and improved keyboard again, but there's not much to improve for the MacBook Pro apart from putting in new processors, and that's pretty much it. But we could be seeing a refresh again of the MacBook Pro. We're not too sure about that at the moment. And then next up we have, well, this is not 100% sure again, but we're likely to see the new variant of the iMac Pro. Now, the iMac Pro was released, I think, in 2016, and it was really, really powerful back at the time. Now it's starting to slow down a bit because, you know, if you look at the iMac 5K, it's starting to go up a bit. So we're hoping that if Apple releases new iMacs, the normal iMacs, and do a new design, then we're likely to see a new iMac Pro, better processors, better CPU, GPU, and all that good stuff, better display again. Who knows, maybe 8K, because, you know, it's for the pros. So we could get an 8K display, but not 100% sure at the moment. But most of all, again, like the iMacs, we're likely to see a redesign of the front, so even thinner bezels could be what we're going to see next year. So guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. So I'm just going to run through all the release dates, possible release dates, and then I'll leave it there. So, AirPods 2 could be released in either December 2018, end of December, but likely to be actually in March of 2019. And then we've got AirPower, that's not too sure at the moment, maybe March, June WWDC 2019, or in September of 2019. And then iPad mini 5th generation, likely at the moment to be in March, but could be in June as well. And then we have got the iPad 2019, could be released also in March, that's very, very likely actually. And then we've got the iMac 2019, probably going to be released as well at WWDC 2019. And then we've got the iPhone 2019, well, it's been the same over the last few years, in September. Not too sure at the moment whether it's going to be the 12th again, but start of September, maybe mid-September, sorry. And then we've got MacBook Pro refresh. If that happens, likely to be also in June, WWDC 2019. And iMac Pro, likely to be the same at WWDC 2019. So guys, thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my other videos on the channel. Don't forget to like and comment if you have any questions, and tell me what you're going to get, any Apple products next year you're excited about, or if you're going to get any Apple products for Christmas. Do tell me in the comment section below. I'm Edwin, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Peace, guys.